welcome to another episode of Bloom Masters TV. Today we're going to be talking all about petunias. Remember, you can always go to our website at bloommasters.com to get all sorts of great information on bedding plants, or go to our YouTube channel at Bloom Masters to see other great videos like this. Today we're going to be talking all about petunias. Now, petunias come from a word petune, which is a French word meaning tobacco-like. And the reason being is that these flowers look very, very similar to a tobacco flower. There's a lot of other flowers and plants that are closely related to petunias as well, like the tomato plant, the potato plant, the chili pepper plant, and the deadly nightshade. If you know anything about deadly nightshade, it can kill your pets. It can make humans very sick if eaten. So for that reason, we don't recommend eating petunias, because you might see something out in the wild you think is a petunia. It's actually a type of nightshade. You could eat it and get very sick. So we're just going to tell you in general, try to stay away from eating petunias. Now, that being said, they have been used in the past. The Mayans and Incans held a lot of different superstitions about this plant. They thought this plant warded off evil spirits and monsters, so they often planted it around their villages. They also thought if they steeped the blooms and buds down into a drink and drank that it would ward off evil spirits. So they used to use it back then for teas and drinks, but today we're just going to say go ahead and pass on this one. Now, the grandifloras I have here today, we have two types. We have our regular grandifloras and our dwarf grandifloras. Now, in the pot, when you get these plants, they're going to look almost identical. The real difference is your garden height. The garden height on the dwarf is going to stay real small and tight. Great for borders, only going to get about 8 inches, maybe 10 inches tall. The regular grandifloras are a true mounding plant with runners, and they build on top of each other, and they can get up to 24 inches tall, 30 inches even. I've seen them in some landscapes if it's hot enough. So very good to know which is going to stay short, which is going to stay tall, and just make sure you request the proper plant. Recently, the past 10 or so years, there's been a great push for vegetative petunias. Now, what this means is, instead of us getting the seed from these and germinating the seed and growing it out that way, we're going to come over to our vegetative ones, take a cutting from this plant, stick that cutting, and propagate it that way. Because that's a lot more time consuming and costly, these vegetative petunias are about twice as expensive as your seed, but they are amazing plants for pots, for hanging baskets, for small beds. And you can see, if you zoom in here, the amount of flowers per plant on these vegetative petunias is a lot more than your seed varieties. They just get blanketed in color. They're an amazing plant to use. A little bit more expensive, but a great option for you, especially for hanging baskets and plants and planters. Another little bit of history on these is that petunias have been a traditional gift throughout South America. The fun fact is that it means two different things depending on which culture used it. Some cultures use petunias as a gift to saying that they liked someone. Other cultures use this petunia as a gift of anger or resentment towards someone. So if someone gives you petunia, ask where they're from. Could be something nice, could be something mean. So make sure you're aware of that. Now, for the landscape, we already kind of talked about the differences. You need them in cool, dry, full sun spots. So no wet, no shade. If you keep them in the proper place, there is no maintenance. The only thing that you're going to see happen to your petunias is botrytis. Now, if you're wondering what that is, if you ever come outside after a foggy night or a misty morning or even just all day drizzle, and all of a sudden all your petunia blooms are laid down, they're covered in fuzz, you just don't know what's going on. That is botrytis. I brought a sample here to show you. If you look closely into this plant, you can see how it looks like the flowers have literally melted down into the plant. That is because these sat out in an all-day rain 2 days ago, and all the blooms got botrytis spores and melted down into the plant. Now, you can treat for botrytis by spraying with a chemical if you want to. The same thing will happen by having that plant get 3 days of sun. So you can spray that plant to dry up those blooms, or if you're forecasted for clear sunny skies, just leave them be. The new blooms will push up, the old blooms will kind of go away. It all just depends on what kind of property you're maintaining and if you have that opportunity to wait or if they want it cleaned up immediately. So if you put it in the right place and we don't have a lot of rain, Petunias are a great option. Just be aware that botrytis is something to look out for, but it's not going to hurt your plant. It's just going to damage the blooms. Hope you enjoyed this, and look forward to seeing you guys in other Bloom Masters videos. And remember, always go to our website at bloommasters.com for any questions that you might have. Thank you and have a great day.